Are you eager to reprogram your subconscious so that it helps rather than hinders you? Remember, your subconscious is responsible for 97% or more of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And when your conscious and subconscious minds are at odds, it's your subconscious that generally takes priority. So if you're interested in upgrading your subconscious operating system, then tune into this episode of The Abundance Zone, because I'm going to be telling you exactly how to go about doing that. Welcome to The Abundance Zone, offering you tips and tools for supercharging your ability to attract more of what you desire into your life. Learn how to step into the abundance zone and stay there more consistently and watch your life transform. Welcome, I'm Dr. Eve DeLunas, and this is episode 23 of The Abundance Zone. In episode 22, I spoke at length about how you can tell if your subconscious operating system is due for an upgrade. If you haven't listened to that yet, you might want to do so now, because today I'm going to be talking about how to go about installing that upgrade. It's important that you understand how the subconscious works so you know what to do in order to be most effective in installing that new way of thinking, feeling, and behavior that will keep you in the abundance zone more and more of the time. After all, since your outer world is a reflection of your inner world, updating your mental and emotional software is a very powerful way to transform your life. Your subconscious programming is located predominantly in the midbrain section of your brain. This is an older part of the human brain that specializes in memories, emotions, sensations, and motivation. This is the part of the brain that monitors your stress levels and triggers automatic mental, emotional, and physiological responses to perceived danger. There are 4 things important to understand about how your subconscious operates. Firstly, it responds to your strong intentions. So if you desire to change, then it's important that you make it very clear within yourself that you have a strong intention to do so. Secondly, it is wired to respond to repetition. The more often you practice thinking new thoughts and holding new emotions, the more it gets the attention of your subconscious. Something repeated often becomes a high priority, and new brain pathways are actually developed to enable these new thoughts and feelings to become more automatic. Your subconscious is wired also to respond to strong emotion. So if you combine a new way of thinking with strong emotion, and in this case it would be positive emotion, your subconscious assumes it's important and makes that new brain pathway an extra streamlined one. Item number 4, your subconscious responds to images and sensations more than words. Imagery is the language of this part of your brain. Many people make the mistake of trying to reprogram their brains by just thinking new thoughts. And while that's definitely a step in the right direction, it's not nearly as powerful as using imagery combined with sensation and emotion and a strong intention to inform your subconscious that you are installing a new mental and emotional program. So you can certainly use words, but I'm going to encourage you to pair those words with strong positive emotion and to speak them out loud or write them as a way of introducing more sensation, the sensation of hearing, the sensation of writing. And that amplifies the message to your subconscious much more than just thinking the words of things that you would like to begin to believe differently or ways in which you would like to think differently. For example, if you want to exercise more and to actually look forward to exercising each day and feel motivated to do that, then what is going to work best is to picture yourself exercising in your mind's eye and to focus on how it feels to be doing so, how you feel joyful, energized, healthy, fit, strong, and vibrant, brimming with vitality as you exercise and as you complete your exercising. Doing this and doing this often will send this message to your subconscious, and suddenly it will begin to provide you with motivation to do that exercising. You will suddenly feel more like exercising than you ever have perhaps in your life, because you've been sending that image, that powerful image, because you have a strong intention to want to exercise and to feel motivated, strongly motivated to do so. And you're pairing that image of actually doing the exercise with all of the good feelings that come from doing so. That is a winning combination. So with these principles in mind, let's look at how you might reprogram a limiting belief. Something like, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve love, or I can't trust myself, to name just a few common negative mental programs. I've talked about lots of these in prior episodes of the Abundance Zone. So drawing from what we've just discussed, I would recommend that you begin just by deciding what you want to believe instead of the limiting belief. This is what we call an affirmation, as most of you probably already know, and it should be short, positive, and present tense. It should feel really good to you when you repeat this affirmation to yourself out loud. So if you come up with an affirmation that you want to try, say it out loud to yourself and pay careful attention to how you feel. You should feel uplifted, hopeful, or encouraged. If you feel nothing or something terrible as you're saying the affirmation, try a different sentence. You might not be quite ready for the one that you initially constructed. Some examples of affirmations are, I deserve the best life has to offer. My belief in myself grows stronger every day. Or, I allow my highest good to come to me easily. And step number 2, establish a strong intention to release the old belief and install the new one. As I've already explained, there's tremendous power in establishing a clear intention. Next, number 3 step is to state your affirmations and write them down many times daily. And when you catch yourself thinking or feeling the old way, it's very important, as much as you can, to catch yourself and replace those thoughts and feelings with your new affirmation. And doing so, as you repeat your new affirmation many times a day, as you catch yourself thinking the old thoughts, and you will catch yourself because we tend to repeat a lot of the same automatic thoughts daily unless we're very conscious and vigilant about catching ourselves. So every time you manage to catch yourself, feel good about that. That's a step in the right direction for sure. And then just think about, focus on, repeat, feel good about the new way of thinking and feeling that you are installing in your subconscious. Step number 4 is to look for evidence in your life in the present and also from the past even that the new belief you're installing is actually true. If you look for it, chances are you will find lots of evidence to support your new belief. We don't notice that evidence while we're holding the old belief because beliefs are like filters. They filter out anything that doesn't fit that way of seeing things. So we don't even notice anything that is outside of our belief system. We don't pick it up. We don't focus on it. And we don't register that it's there. And so make a concerted effort to begin to notice those things. For example, I once had a client who had a really negative view of men. This was a female client. And she'd had a lot of negative experiences with men, but I knew she'd had a lot of very positive experiences with men. And she wanted to change that belief very badly, but it was kind of a very deep-seated belief and she was having trouble changing it. So she came to me. And one of the homework exercises I gave her is to write down every time she saw a man, a young man, old man, didn't matter how old. Every time she saw a man doing something that she thought was positive, was kind, was thoughtful, was something commendable. And she came back and had pages and pages listed of all of these observations that she'd made in just a week. And she was astonished. And she said, oh my goodness, these things have been happening around me, but I haven't noticed them. I haven't cued into them because I've been so intent on finding things to support my old belief, which was to look for the worst behavior in members of the male species. And she said, while certainly I wasn't making those things up, now I see that I was filtering out the other side of things, all of these terrific men in my life already. It included her brother, it included her boss, it included all of these other men that she'd known for a long time. And she thought, they're really wonderful human beings. All men aren't terrible people. And so she began to change that core belief, and opening herself up to those new observations helped her substantially in doing so. And then the next thing I recommend you do, which is step number 5, is to activate your imagination. First, you can pretend that you already believe the new belief that is already firmly implanted in your subconscious, and you are living your life accordingly. And you can ask yourself, how would I act if this was now true? If I knew this was true, for example, how would I act if I knew that I could trust myself? If I really did trust myself, what would I be thinking and feeling right now, or in this moment, or in the next moment? How would I act throughout my day? Play with your imagination and involve your emotions. Get excited when you imagine yourself thinking and feeling and behaving in new ways that you desire to think and feel and behave. Get excited about that so you can feel what it's going to feel like to really hold this new, positive, unlimiting belief. How is that going to feel? How is that going to affect me deeply within? How is that going to change the way I view myself and life and other people? How is that going to change the choices that I make? Play with your imagination about all of that. Really have fun doing so. And it's a good idea to play with your imagination in a time when you're able to close your eyes, breathe deeply, really kind of take yourself into a nice, relaxed state of mind, body, and spirit, and then play with your imagination. Because when you do it while you're in a meditative state, even a lightly meditative state, It's an even stronger form of self-hypnosis. And the message really gets through loud and clear to your subconscious. So that's a great way to do your imagining of how it's going to feel, how it's going to look, how it's going to be, and imagining and pretending that you hold this new unlimiting belief, that it is firmly there, programmed into your subconscious. The last thing you can do is to rewrite the early scenes when you first adopted the limiting belief or the negative program. This process, sometimes it isn't needed. Sometimes doing steps 1 through 5 are enough. Sometimes it is needed, especially if the belief is something that came from a period of your life when you experienced a lot of trauma. Then chances are you're going to need to do step number 6, which is to rewrite the early scenes from when you first adopted the limiting belief. I'm going to make a future podcast about how to do this. And in the meantime, if you're interested in learning more about how to do this, I wrote a book about how to do this, and it's actually called New Science, New Brain, New You, because I based this book on new findings in neuroscience and related them to what I had seen in clinical practice really works to help people reprogram themselves. So the book is called New Science, New Brain, New You. It's a do-it-yourself guide to reprogramming yourself. It has lots and lots of guided meditations that you can use and lots of tools that you can use in order to get to know certain aspects of yourself better and change them. So it's available at Amazon and lots of different places. So feel free to get a hold of that book and to work through it, and that will show you how to go back and rewrite a childhood scene in a way that you can heal yourself. And I will be doing a podcast sometime in the future about how to do that as well. So with a strong intention and lots of repetition, the use of your imagination paired with lots of positive emotion, your subconscious will get the message and install the new program to replace the old one. Try it. It works. And doing so is a great way to raise your vibration and feel liberated to have and enjoy the life you truly desire. Well, that's it for today, folks. Thank you so much for listening in to the Abundance Zone podcast, and I wish you a beautiful week. Bye.